An update on Egypt Air Flight 804.
And Bill Cosby is back in the courtroom.
President Obama is in Vietnam today. Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 24th, 2016. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Megan Judy.
And I'm Mike Carlson.
And I'm Tim Schmidt. We're waking up.
Final moments of the doomed jet airliner over the Mediterranean last week. Authorities say they have found human remains that could point to an explosion on board.
Egyptian authorities are now refuting earlier data that showed the Egypt Air jet swerved and made a rapid descent before vanishing from the radar. 5 days later.
Columbia drivers may want to leave a little early this morning to avoid some construction on a heavily trafficked road. KOMU 8's Rachel Lee is live at Forum Boulevard to explain what's causing the delays. Thanks, Rachel. Bill Cosby is due in a Pennsylvania courtroom this morning for a hearing in his criminal sexual assault case. It will determine whether prosecutors have enough evidence to send the 78-year-old to trial. Cosby is accused of drugging and molesting former Temple University employee Andrea Costin in 2004. Cosby faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted. And the Kelsey-Smith Act failed to pass in the House of Representatives, narrowly missing the two-thirds requirement to pass. The act would allow law enforcement to access a phone's location in order to find a missing child in the first 48 hours. The act may be brought back to be heard in the House when a simple majority would allow the vote to pass. Wayne Carey has an imposter. Many reported suspicious calls yesterday. The caller said he was the sheriff and claimed victims have outstanding arrest warrants that can be settled over the phone. The scammer says these can be paid off simply. Just give them your credit or debit card information. Sometimes scammers even manipulate the caller ID. The Sheriff's Department warns this is an impossible scenario.
It's obviously a scam. That isn't the way we operate. The Sheriff's Department never calls people telling them that they have to provide a credit card or debit card number in order to satisfy a bond or a warrant.
If you receive a phone call like this, hang up. Don't give them any information, no matter what they say, and notify the Sheriff's Department as well. Some local employers are having a hard time finding employees who can pass a drug test. The most recent data from Quest Diagnostics shows illicit drug use in the workforce is up nearly 10%, 15% for marijuana use. Columbia job finders say these numbers are reflected locally too. The company matches people with employers and screens all candidates. It says the legalization of marijuana in some states is making that job very hard.
I think it's made it feel like, why are you making such a big deal about it? And there's a lot more casual use than maybe even just a few years ago. So there's that. Secondary to that is that there are more jobs than there are candidates.
Job finders know of more than 600 job openings in mid-Missouri that are waiting to be filled. The San Francisco Board of Supervisors will consider a proposal today that spells out when new law enforcement officials can turn over suspects to federal immigration authorities. The policy is called Sanctuary Cities. The measure calls for law officers to notify immigration and customs enforcement only if a defendant is charged with a violent crime and has been convicted of a violent crime within the last 7 years. That policy landed the city in national controversy last year when a Mexican man shot and killed a local woman after being deported several times. A Kansas high school teacher and coach resigned and faces accusations of engaging in sexual behavior with at least one of his students. Students say an English teacher at Prairie View High School, Keaton Krell, was inappropriate with girls in his class. Krell was also the head girls basketball coach and taught at Prairie View for 5 years.
More exposed than you might be used to.
A restaurant in London is actually leading the way with 32,000 people wanting the naked food experience.
Right, naked dining, no thanks. That's not the only bizarre concept being introduced in the food world, though. NBC's Mary Maloney explains the potential.
Once again, that was Mary Maloney. If you want to stay cool and save fuel while driving along the highway this summer, roll up the windows and turn on the AC. Running the air conditioning in your vehicle increases fuel consumption. It's more efficient than driving with the windows down while on the highway. The EPA says that's because open windows increase aerodynamic drag, making the car engines work harder. Chewbacca electronic masks are selling for $500 on eBay. That's because the masks have sold out at some major toy chains like Walmart, Toys R Us, and Target. The retail price for the masks is normally $30, but the sellout has skyrocketed the price. The mask and a woman with an infectious laughter are featured in a recent video that's gone viral. It's titled, "I'm Such a Happy Chewbacca."
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I laughed so hard.
Hilarious.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Artists have a wide variety of mediums to pick from, but office supplies not one you might expect.
Hey, you never know. Murals made of Post-it notes have snowballed into a friendly war that's taken social media by storm. Here's NBC's Harry.
And then you are taking a look there. That is Columbia Regional Airport. The time is 4:55 in the morning. KOMU 8 News will be right back.